aliens.
Hear me out. We have the dinosaur skeletons, but where are the alien ones?
Come on, bro. Where are the alien skeletons? Where are all
Doesn't
the
add up.
things? Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Crazy Fire Concert. Actually, that's not our podcast name. We haven't decided that. That's undecided. Anyways, today we are going to do a Freaky Friday. So we're going to be talking about conspiracy theories and scary stories and all the spooky, freaky stuff. Anyways, we have a new person. Everyone, welcome Logan, a very
Hi.
beautiful young man.
Hi, Logan.
Thanks.
Put
Thanks
him
for
in the
having me.
hot
at-
seat.
He lives
Put
at
him in the
308
electric chair.
Negro Warrior Lane, Albuquerque, New Mexico.
This is his confession tape.
Let's just dox him. Post it on the internet.
Sure.
Actually,
Logan, tell
first,
us. He
sorry,
needs to
go ahead.
tell us about yourself. Who are you? Give us all the personal information you can for our audience.
I'm a pro gamer. Just kidding.
Oh,
I'm Logan, and I am a new owner of a Nintendo Switch. So,
Congrats!
gosh.
This is
hey,
a big day.
it came in the mail today, so that's pretty exciting.
What games are you gonna play on it?
We have Zelda right now. Lego Star Wars is coming in the mail. Should be.
Well, I
in
mean, which Zelda though?
Breath of the Wild.
Of course.
Bro, I'm just waiting for Wind Waker to get like released on Switch or something. Like I want to play Wind Waker so bad.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
Or Majora's Mask. I would definitely buy a
Oh,
Switch.
no
Dude.
way.
Majora's Mask looks like a analog horror movie. It's freaking scary looking.
That was a really I only played half of it as a kid, but that was one of the funnest games I ever played, honestly.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
artwork for it's pretty cool in the book I have.
They did.
Yeah.
They did 3 of those art books, and honestly, they're all pretty cool. So, do you just have the red one?
I just have the red one. That one's mostly concept art.
Mhm.
But I mean, that's the only cool one. Encyclopedia is one of them. I don't know what the other one is.
I think it's like tools and artifacts or something like that.
Isn't the encyclopedia the green one? Is that what it is?
I don't know. There's a blue and a
Well,
green one.
I think
Whatever it was. I know Luke, you guys know his last name.
Luke
Had
had
Oh.
one.
Luke had one, yeah. And dude, I like went over to his house and I think I played Twilight Princess at his house for like I don't know, it must have been like 4 hours or something like that, which was a long time for me as a kid because I wasn't allowed to hang out for super long periods of time when I was little. And then I remember in like junior high, it was like it might have even been on the bus, or maybe it was at his house. I don't know when it was, but he was like, dude, you gotta check this out. I've got the encyclopedia. And he was like just unveiled it to me. I'm like, oh my, this is incredible. I can't believe this.
That's
unveiled
awesome.
it to you.
That's great.
Yeah.
So the green one is the Hyrule Historia. The red one is Art and Artifacts. And the blue one
Mhm.
is the Encyclopedia.
Oh yeah, must have been the blue one then.
Yeah. That's funny though. That's
Yeah.
cool though. Like that's something sweet to have as a kid. Just like a book full of stuff from your favorite game.
Oh yeah. I used to treasure like the handbooks, like little pamphlets that came in the game boxes or whatever, or the
Yeah.
case. Like I remember when because when I was probably 12 or something like that, I played Halo Reach with my cousin at his grandma's house. I was like oh my gosh, this game is incredible. This is awesome. Um, I want to play it so bad. And I told my parents about it. My mom, she was like, "Oh, you can't play that game till you're like 14 or whatever." And then I think for my birthday or something after that, my dad got me Halo 3, like a used copy. Um, and then I found like the little or the book in there, and it's got like the story so far with like all the concept art. And it's got the different characters from the story. and like little like I don't know background about all of them. I was like, I'd pour over that like all the time. Like this is so deep. And then I got Halo Reach, and I spent a lot of time in that pamphlet. So it was a
So
pretty
Sick.
good time.
is that what got you into art, Bjorn? Or was it
Those
your dad
pamphlets?
being an artist?
The pamphlets. I don't know. I've always like doodled and drawn and done stuff like that, but definitely like um, a lot of the inspiration definitely came from seeing concept art for the games that I like to play. You know,
Yeah.
like one of the so the first page in the Halo 3 manual, if you've got it, is like it's like the story so far, so it gives you a rundown on what's happened in the trilogy, and the picture is the broken rings of the space elevator from Halo 2,
I know
then
what that
Master
is.
Chief standing on the ruins holding like a one of the big mounted machine guns over his shoulder. Um and it's, super painterly concept art. I was like, "Oh, this is awesome. This is so cool."
Heck yeah.
So, that
That's sweet.
definitely is one of the things that like probably imprinted itself on my mind as far as like the style of art that I liked. But
Speaking of Halo and
and
aliens
oh boy, this
What
segue.
and military technology and
Oh boy.
government control and
And what else?
And
what else?
Do you want to
Perhaps
start us off, Andrew, with our
perhaps we
Freaky
have some
Friday?
topics.
Ooh,
Um,
spooky time.
Spooky time.
did we intro it? What we're doing?
Probably not. I didn't really prepare my topic for this episode. So
Despicable.
Forgivable.
Me neither. So there we
Dang
go.
it. Andrew and Logan let us down. No,
Sorry,
Andrew.
boys.
Give us the intro to your topic. I want to hear it and we can discuss.
to like what my research topic was.
Yes.
Yeah. Why don't you go first?
I did ancient aliens, so that was my topic. But I was busy working on the intro for this podcast, and so I didn't really get to research really a whole lot.
But you
So
already know a fair amount just from past knowledge, right?
not really. That's why I wanted to research it. You
What do
know?
you know?
Yeah,
Yeah,
give us
right.
the
Exactly.
for
But
anybody who's lived under a rock for the past, I don't know, 30, 40 years. What's the ancient aliens thing?
you know what I think is pretty interesting is the like how so people are like so the only explanation to like how they built the pyramids with all their like all the blocks, like how would you cut all those blocks and like move them in place, and like I'm sure there's all sorts of different theories behind like how they moved everything.
Mm,
But I actually did see this one YouTube video of this
good
guy.
source.
Huh?
Good source.
No. He was. This is practical because it actually shows how something like this can be done in real life. Is that he was using like simple machines like wedges and levers to move like giant pieces of concrete. And this wasn't like I didn't research this recently, but I had seen a video of it, and I was like, I can kind of see how humans would be able to do that with enough levers and wedges and getting crafty with different physics. But that's the only thing I could think of. But the other route is that aliens came and showed humans how to build these pyramids, right? Or that they're like generators or of some sort,
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. Something in that same vein. I want to go back to the pyramids part of it, but um, I recently, when I was visiting home, I watched an episode of Ancient Aliens with my mom. And bro,
yeah,
that show is wild. I haven't watched it in so long, but it was like I forget the name of the place, but it's in South America and they're these giant blocks and they look like kind of a three-dimensional H, like the letter H shape, but they're kind of layered at the same time. If we had somebody like Jamie, he could like pull it up or whatever so he could see this. Um but no, it was like these big giant H blocks. Um and they're carved from stone that's like miles and miles away. Um and so one mystery is how they got the big blocks there, so kind of similar to the pyramids. And the other one is how did they get such precise edges? Because if I knew what it was called um and whatnot, then I'd be able to kind of show you guys. But it's like super precise and super clean carvings.
yeah,
And the ancient aliens people, which I know are a meme, they were like, it must have been modern power tools or lasers. There's no way you could do this with a chisel.
yeah,
And part of that's kind of true. Like you can get pretty precise with the, hammer and chisel. Um, but like the level of precision that you'd have to get, and also because there's hundreds of these blocks everywhere. So it suggests that they're like mass produced and they're all the exact same, more or less. So it's very interesting. And they're like it was aliens who they built a landing pad when they came here out of this stuff, and then something went wrong, and then they nuked the place because there's a temple that was like destroyed nearby. And so me and my mom thought that was pretty funny because it's like I don't know where you get some of that.
You do bring up a good point though, because I heard the same thing. Like it's so precise at the bottom. If it was a 16th off at the
Mhm.
top, it would be feet off. And
With
instead
the
of like,
pyramids.
yeah. And then also you're talking about like dragging rocks away. They found some rocks there that were found in a quarry. I just butchered that name. Anyways, let's skip past that.
yeah, yeah,
It was found 500 miles away, and that's from us right now, where me and Andrew are, is 500 miles to Glacier National Park in Montana. That's how far
That's a
away
cool
it is.
place.
500 miles away.
Wow.
So
Dang.
imagine carrying a. I don't know how heavy they weighed. I mean, definitely a lot, but imagine carrying that big of a rock that far. And I don't know how many years it took them, but I'd imagine it took a long freaking time.
Yeah.
But not just one, but like I don't know how many rocks they transferred over, but I mean, you see how big the pyramids are, so you can only guess how many they transferred over.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and one of the other things that people talk about, because if you Google like what the pyramids are, everything says that it's like tombs and stuff. Um, and I looked into this because I thought it was kind of fishy. Because I saw a clip of Joe Rogan's show, and one of the guys on there is like, the pyramids weren't tombs; they're something else. And his
right,
reason for that was because they never found any bodies or anything inside the pyramids. But that could be just because the pyramids have been around for thousands and thousands of years, so that's plenty of time for people to go loot them.
Mhm.
But the inside of the pyramids is kind of weird. Um, like if you look at like a cutaway or whatever, because we've got these weird shafts leading out, and all that stuff. I don't know.
Yeah,
There's so much weird stuff about the pyramids. Like when you start digging, you understand why there's so many like theories about like ancient aliens or things with them. Um, because on the surface level, it's like, oh yeah, Egyptians built that, and then you start looking, and then it's like, you see there's possibilities it might be thousands of years older than people think it is, or where they get the supplies for how this happened. I don't know nearly enough to say anything definitive about it. I just think it's interesting, I guess.
Well, I think it's kind of weird because it wasn't just the pyramids that were built that way. Like, I've recently been studying the Persians for this art history class, and they have these bowl capitals on top of their pillars, which are ginormous. And like,
Oh yeah.
they imported the materials to get those. They're from mountains from far away. So like, they have, I don't know, it's like some sort of lever system or pulley system, like to get those things
Yeah,
up there. Like, it's still pretty impressive.
how do you build that?
Yeah, I
Like,
don't know.
imagine building like a round, like like Kremlin-esque looking, like roof points. Like, I don't rooftops, I guess. Like, how do you build that? That's crazy.
Yeah.
And have it
But
actually be smooth.
Yeah.
And like the bowl capitals that Logan's talking about, because so it's a pillar, right? Like just
Is
think
that what
of
you're talking about? Sorry, is that
Yeah, so it's just, so the capital is just the top piece of the pillar that holds up the roof. So you got
Mhm.
the wooden beams that go across the capitals of the pillars,
Mm.
and they were the pillars within the throne room, and they were like hundreds of feet tall, and like they're super heavy, super huge, from this imported material from the mountains far, far away. I don't really know the precise details, but it's just still super impressive. And it's like they had to use like pulleys or something. Like, even cranes nowadays can barely like do stuff like that, you know? So, I mean, it is interesting, but it's like that's how they did everything, like the old people. I
old
mean,
people.
they did stuff because they had time, right? They didn't have phones, no TikTok around, so let's carve some bowl sculptures, you know?
And let's not talk about
Base
the lack of motivation these days.
Yeah. So,
base take by Logan.
a lot of
If we didn't have TikTok, we'd have bowl capitals again.
And pyramids. Don't forget the pyramids.
And pyramids.
well, there's a lot more physical skills, I think. It's like people did a lot of the things with their hands. Like, that's kind of what your life's built around, is working. So,
And now if you get bored, I mean, you instantly just go like to your phone, to your computer, like gaming console. I mean, it's so easy to cure boredom these days.
everything's at our fingertips.
That's right. Sorry. Brayden looks at me weird sometimes and I laugh.
So Andrew, what else did you have on this topic?
Not a lot, really, honestly. I just think that's an interesting topic. Maybe next episode we can go into a bit more depth about that when I've actually researched it. Or maybe we can just do a whole episode where we all go in on that.
Yeah.
But it just
we could do a field trip. We could visit the pyramids.
Oh my god,
bro! Dude, imagine a podcast episode where it's like,
all right, guys, we're out here.
I'm gonna go visit some ruins in Mexico when
oh no way.
get them. So
that's pretty sick.
I might talk about that next podcast.
Live stream it.
Yeah, sure.
What are you going to Mexico for?
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, we're just doing a little trip.
Cool, nice.
Yeah.
There is one of those ancient ruins in Mexico. I don't know which one it is. I could be wrong, so don't quote me on this. But I did hear that one of the big ancient temples was actually, like, one of the well-known ones is actually just a reconstruction from like the 60s. Yeah. So I don't know.
So just be aware. I might be looking at some fake stuff.
Yeah. No, but
like some stuff that's just like not even legit. And I was like,
dude,
wow,
you gotta go to I think it's called Tenochtitlan, I think, something like that. It's like the big, like, Aztec city is what it is. I don't know how to say the name.
It's Tenochtitlan.
Something like that.
Oh, I think it might be. I know how it's spelled. It's like Techno-Titlan.
Oh,
That's how it's spelled.
Techno Titland sounds good to me.
Tech-
Let's go.
Techno- Titlan.
oh,
No,
I
yeah.
just. Do you need help spelling it? I just found it.
No, I just typed it in.
Because it's the big like foundations of buildings, and it's got like a big highway almost through the center of it. So it's like a super complex, urban layout, but it's all left over from the Aztecs before the Spanish conquered them, which is pretty interesting.
So, what was
How
that
about-
main building used for? Like, why would someone build that huge? I'm just confused on what was the use of it.
I don't know.
For what? Pyramids or
Not the pyramid, the building. I'm not going to try to pronounce it. What you
Spell
just
it.
said.
oh,
The Mexican place.
Yeah.
Yeah, no idea.
Actually,
What I do know, though, is there are some theories that a lot of this stuff, a lot of this ancient culture, is a lot older than we think it is. Because like Logan was saying, like there's these huge pillars that would be a huge challenge for even modern technology to accomplish. And so a lot of people think that there's these kind of cycles that the Earth goes through, or at least humanity goes through, where um, technology is a lot more advanced than we think it is, and then society collapses and we lose all that evidence, and then it just has a resurgence. I don't think
that
that I don't think the society's ever been to the point where we're at now. Because like if you go on like Google Earth or whatever and look down on like the big major cities like New York City, even European cities like London and stuff, there's no way that something like that would be hidden from us from ancient times, Like there's huge cities and stuff that we've uncovered, but nothing to that scale, where it's like there's skyscrapers that are hundreds of feet tall, there's, tunnel systems that are hundreds of feet under the ground. Um, we don't really have any evidence like that, but there is stuff like what Logan is saying in the pyramids that it's like how would somebody have done that so long ago if they didn't have modern technology? So
that's a good point. What I wonder though is if civilizations advance and then they fall, right? Where are all the human skeletons? Like we have dinosaur skeletons, but where are all the alien skeletons?
Alien.
Hear me out. We have the dinosaur skeletons, but where are the alien ones?
Come on, bro. Where are the alien skeletons? Where are all
Doesn't
the
add up.
humans? Where are all the human skeletons? Like, or from like the from those periods. I guess like so if you think like dinosaurs and then what's before that, humans, right? If you believe that. So, but then they'd be able to like, what is it called, like carbon dating,
Oh yeah.
and figure out like how old it was. But there's no human like bones. Like let's see. So it says.
I know it's like the oldest cave art puts humanity. Some might even put it 60,000 years old, which is a lot longer than we have like evidence of like structures and stuff. So 60,000 years is a long time. Like what? We only
60,000
have
years, and we only have the iPhone 14. Embarrassing.
What is it? What's happening to this world, man?
Bjorn, what was your number for when the humans showed up?
I want to say 60,000 is what some people think. Don't quote me on that.
So
60,000 or 40,000.
I just looked up if humans were around during the Ice Age. And yes,
Yeah.
they were, obviously. But it says that we emerged around 300,000 years ago in Africa.
Oh,
Wow.
see, I rest my case. Human old.
Human old human. I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, there has been civilizations that have like risen, then fallen, rised and fallen.
Rised.
So I
Ricin?
mean, that makes sense, I guess.
Rice.
But
That was such a
what about
delayed
the aliens?
reaction, Brandon.
I just can't believe no one said anything about it. I was like, okay, is anyone gonna say anything?
Logan and I knew what was going on, and then like 10
Sorry, I
seconds
didn't mean
later,
to interrupt
Brandon's
so
like,
much. My bad.
Ricin.
Horizon.
You can't keep getting away with it.
Andrew, as you were. Apologies.
Oh no, I my thoughts are concluded.
Yeah, I say we move on.
Is that your
Ignore.
roommates?
He's so loud, guys.
Dude, I hate them so much. They suck.
Okay, so I'm gonna
Let's
talk
keep it
quietly, but I should
professional.
be louder. No, so yeah, so he comes in the apartment, and first thing he does.
I don't even know what you said. It was so deep fried.
I know. Hey, apologies to the headphone users. No,
That
Yeah,
sucks.
you hurt my
What's his
ears,
deal?
and I'm not even wearing headphones.
I don't know.
No, but that video
We're-
you sent, it was like 5 people yelling. Was that the other roommates or just his friends?
Oh no, yeah, that was the other guys too. They had people over, so I was
Does
kind
he
of a
rile them
social
up?
gathering. Yes.
That sucks. I have no
So-
more respect for him.
I mean, obviously you're at BYU, but it definitely sounds like they were being so loud they were definitely drinking. I mean, who would be that loud sober?
My sister's
Well-
roommates all drink, so how it
Based.
goes.
No, I say we continue on our escapade of conspiracy
Your
theories.
turn.
Fair. We're getting a little sidetracked.
Braden, do you want to go first or should I go first?
I can go first. I'll do my really small one first. I haven't done a lot of research on this, so if I
Yeah.
mess it up, bear with me. But
Okay.
anyways, so my first one is about the horror of Project Sunshine, and basically it was a conspiracy theory about the government taking dead babies and dead children, and even like any age below 20 years old, they would take the bodies of them and they would basically nuke them and
What?
test how the radiation reacts to their body.
Oh, like put them in the microwave, pretty much.
Dude, just
Yeah,
watch Chernobyl.
So they
Put them in the
It's
microwave.
not funny. Don't laugh.
they would put them in the radiation
Don't
zone.
laugh.
So when they nuked, like they would
Please
see
don't
how the
laugh.
body reacts to it, and that was a big conspiracy theory, but it was actually leaked to be true. So the government would send out agents to go steal like dead bodies, dead kids. I think mostly in the US, but also in the UK, they stole like dead babies. It was really messed up. And then they just basically nuked them to test how bodies would react to radiation.
Why did they do
Really?
babies?
Huh.
I don't know why they used younger people. I couldn't tell you why.
I'm sure it has a different reaction,
Yeah,
but that's messed up.
So were they trying to see what happened to like flesh or something, or what, like their bodies, the effects on the skin? Or...
I am ill informed, but this is actually a sad thing. So this was happened in 1960 something, I think around that era. But anyways, they didn't realize how bad the radiation affected areas. And so there was a Japanese fishing boat that was in the area, and they all got really bad radiation, and they went back to Japan. And then this is part of the video I watched. the doctor was like, well, we got screwed over twice by America. First we got nuked, and then our fishing boats got nuked with radiation. But that's all I know so far. I could do more research and talk more about it in the next episode. But yeah, basically US government nuked young tissue.
So did they
Oh,
bomb the children, or did they just expose them to radiation?
I mean, obviously, if they were in the middle of the blast,
Just obliterate them.
They'd be obliterated. But I think they're in the radiation zone. But so here's the part that I read. Government was, oh wow, this is even worse. The government was stealing parts of dead bodies because they needed young tissue. They recruited a worldwide network of agents to find recently deceased babies and children and then take samples and even limbs, each collected without notification or permission of the more than 1,500 grieving families. So wow, imagine that.
I shouldn't be laughing, but like, I'm just imagining like two goons in a suit and tie, like digging up graves in the middle of the night to get body parts to put in the middle of a nuclear testing area.
I'm kind of guessing they wouldn't go grave digging. I'm kind of guessing like, if someone had a stillborn, they would somehow like have the hospital steal it. I don't know how that would work.
That's like the image it paints, I guess. You're probably right though.
Yeah.
They probably get it from like a morgue or something. I don't know. How do you even go about doing that? It's strange.
And that would be really weird to go to the hospital and be like, hey, can I get all your stillborn babies?
Maybe like no.
It'd probably be like, show the badge, and it's like, let me in to where all the babies are hiding.
They just put them in a room.
I got my baby pass.
That's awful, dude.
I'm sure the parents are allowed
I'm a
to
caretaker.
have them, right?
I'm a
Like at a
caretaker.
funeral.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't think they just keep them.
Well, they must have been recently deceased then, if that's how they were doing it, right? Like if they were showing up to hospitals and stuff, then yeah, it'd be like probably, oh, this baby just died. Let's, take it and use it for this freaking test.
Let's take it until
That's pretty messed
have
up,
a
though.
closed casket funeral.
Well, it turns out they
Yeah.
wouldn't always take the whole baby. They would just take parts of the baby.
We are not
It
age
said samples
restricted.
and sometimes limbs, right?
Sorry, what?
It said samples and sometimes limbs, right?
Yeah, the government was stealing parts of babies because they yeah, and then take samples and even limbs.
Okay.
But I mean, I doubt they were just taking like a sample, like a tiny little vial of blood.
Yeah, but like probably flesh samples is probably what they were looking for. So you could go to the mortuary, right? And when they're dissecting the body or whatever, they could easily just swipe a butt cheek, No one will notice.
Oh, I mean, just imagine how sick if you're the father of a baby and then you found out after your kid died, it was taken from you.
Maybe we shouldn't go into so much detail, Brayden.
Like, why is this? This
Just
shouldn't make me
envision
laugh.
it.
It shouldn't make me laugh.
Why are you laughing? You're evil.
It's so
No,
jacked up.
honestly, I think Andrew's psychopathic.
And then name it Project Sunshine, like for real, bro. Like
No joke. The horror of Project Sunshine.
Wait, that's what? Oh my gosh,
Jeez,
Look-
terrible.
Look
That's
it up.
pretty gruesome.
Project Sunshine.
I'm not
It's
going
disgusting.
to look it up. I'll rely on you for my information, Brayden.
Actually, they did do grave digging too. Wow. Okay. I am done looking at this subject. Bjorn, go ahead.
Are you switching to mine? Okay.
Brayden's got another, right?
I think that
Yeah.
was decent. That was
No,
very
that-
good. We had
it
a
was
good
interesting.
conversation about that. I had no idea that even existed. So that's great.
Now I'm cursed
Yeah.
with that knowledge.
Yeah, it's a little disturbing, but there's a lot of dark people out there, so they might like that. Freaks.
Yeah.